Welcome back to the IBFP. Here's your host, Foxy New.
Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back. Let's just dig right into it. The real reason why Deontay Wilder turned down the WBC franchise belt. And this is his statement in regards to the franchise belts. He states if Canelo accepts it and he's happy with it, then congratulations. He said the only thing I can say about it is that many people have asked me about the franchise belt. I don't know much about it. What I'm hearing is it allows you to stay a champion and you don't have to fight mandatories and stuff like that. If that's the case, then I'm not interested in that. I want the mandatory because that's what makes guys work their way up and work hard to become number 1 and 2 and then become the mandatory. So we're just going to be honest and unbiased about this in the whole situation. People have been applauding Deontay Wilder for, saying that he's not interested in accepting a franchise belt from the WBC. And I'll be the first to go on record that the WBC is crooks. These guys are a trash organization, and their belts should be delegitimized by every boxer. That includes Canelo Alvarez, that includes Vasyl Lomachenko. No one should represent the WBC at this point because of how erroneous they act. But if we're going to be honest and objective about it, Deontay Wilder is only refusing the franchise belt, and it's really obvious, and it's because he's ducking Dillian Whyte. And he has the ability to duck Dillian Whyte without being a franchise champion. And the sad thing about this is I would favor Deontay Wilder to beat Dillian Whyte in certain circumstances because he has a strong right hand that typically finds his opponent at some point in the fight and puts them down. But the problem with Deontay Wilder is, he's blatantly ducked Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte has been the mandatory for over, I believe, 600 plus days. You see that he did an interview with DAZN in which, he pulled out text messages from Deontay Wilder directly saying that he doesn't have to fight him for over 2 years. And he showed the proof. Deontay Wilder never denied it. And yet he's still not mandatory to fight him, not mandated to fight him right away. They keep skipping and moving past Dillian Whyte because Deontay Wilder has control of the WBC. He's ducking Dillian Whyte. And it makes you almost wonder, maybe the style of Dillian Whyte would be too much for Deontay Wilder. Maybe, because we know Dillian Whyte's a very good fighter. We know Dillian Whyte's a very strong fighter. But at the end of the day, there's no excuse to duck someone this long. And you know what? Not only is Dillian Whyte a huge fight for Deontay Wilder as far as, taking care of your mandatory, but it's a huge financial fight. It would be a career high payday. He would go to the UK, get paid an enormous sum, millions of dollars. And not only that, it would be a pay-per-view that would actually sell, unlike in the American market. It's a clear and utter duck from Deontay Wilder, and that's why he's refusing the franchise champion, because he's already getting what he wants. He's already able to duck the mandatory challengers. He doesn't have to fight the real mandatories. He's able to duck it. See, there's a perception about the belt, which many people think that they're used to duck fighters, and that's the whole point of being a franchise champion. You see that the WBC, they named Tyson Fury as the mandatory challenger and pushed Dillian Whyte's date back to 2021. So the entire year of 2020, Deontay Wilder is not going to have to face Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte is being robbed of his opportunity because the WBC is a fraudulent organization, and Deontay Wilder is blatantly ducking him, and he's getting what he wants. And the perception of the franchise belt is, hey, these guys all duck everyone. But Deontay Wilder doesn't even need that belt because he's ducking him without one. You see that Dillian Whyte, you're going to have fanboys that are going to say, well, Dillian Whyte, he's a drug cheat, he's this, he's that. But we already see here that he's literally passed all of the VADA tests that are required of him. See, that's what the WBC goes by. Their clean boxing program is done with VADA. So if he meets all of their, mandates, why is he not mandated to fight Deontay Wilder right now? He's done everything and he's passed all the tests. He's proved he's not a drug cheat. Why is he not fighting Deontay Wilder right now? A B sample is, not even relevant in this situation simply because the fights that's sanctioned by the mandatory position for the WBC is a VADA test, and he passed that. As far as the British Boxing Board of Control, they approved the fight. So there's really no investigation. There's no complaint. All of this is pointless. Let's be honest and unbiased. And then you see the reputation of the franchise belt is to assume that fighters are going to duck someone because they've been elevated. It's a stupid status. It's a status that should not exist in boxing, and no one should defend it. But I will say this, the two fighters that do have the franchise belts don't appear to be ducking anyone. You look at Vasyl Lomachenko, and he openly states that he wants and is open to Gervonta Tank Davis and Devin Haney in 2020. So this is regardless of a franchise belt. They just recently stated this. Then you see Canelo Alvarez and DAZN have approved Jermall Charlo and Billy Joe Saunders, to the potential fight list for Canelo Alvarez. So DAZN is open to those fights, and Canelo Alvarez is open to those fights. And then you also see Oscar De La Hoya stating that he would love to make the Canelo Charlo fight. But you're saying that Canelo Alvarez is ducking Jermall Charlo to fight a guy that's 15 pounds heavier than him, 2 weight classes above, and that's also a world champion that's dangerous and that could knock him out, to duck a guy, Jermall Charlo, who struggled with Matt Korobov, who couldn't knock out a guy from 154? Let's be honest and unbiased. Deontay Wilder is a fraud and a coward, and he's ducking Dillian Whyte. And the reason why he doesn't want to be a franchise champion, because they're protecting him and he's allowed to get away with it without having to be elevated to the franchise champion status. Once again, unbiased as always, is the IBFP.